Bro, my wife's cat in a food coma.
Uh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, I will.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. If you my mic was on mute that whole time. How embarrassing. If you didn't tap in with us on the Broskis channel, we were just live on talking about sports with Machine Gun Matt and Justin. Shout out those two. Um, what the fuck? Okay. It was a very good show. They had a great show, man. Honestly, I love doing that show with them. They are easy to talk to about basically anything on when that has to do with sports. So I definitely you know appreciate them. We were talking about like the World Baseball Classic, but it got into this like broader conversation of baseball because I used to umpire. I've mentioned it a couple times, but I used to umpire at the high school level. Like after I got done playing ball in college, I mean I didn't really play. I got redshirted and our practice squatted is really the right way to say it. But when I got practice squatted, I knew I wasn't gonna I knew I wasn't good enough to play at the level that I wanted to play. And it was ego, dude. Like everybody that I played around was so good that like I had this ego that I couldn't play JUCO ball. Like it was not necessarily beneath me, but that I would think my friends would think it was beneath them or maybe beneath me. I don't know. It was all bullshit. It was just ego, dude. And honestly, one of the bigger mistakes in my life. I wouldn't say even like a mistake, but just, I would have loved to have like the experience just to see how good I would have been. I don't even think I would have played more than a year, but either way, I got to umpire when I needed something after that was over. And it really taught me something about the sport, honestly. Like, I feel like it's really hard to even understand it until you've seen it from both sides. Because it's like so easy to blame officials a lot of times when things are really tough. Like locking a cage door can be really, really tough. You know what I mean? You accidentally almost let in one masked man, and then you let in another, and then you let in the champion for which that match is to determine who they're to face. That's like letting you know, Harris right into the election booth with a screwdriver. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where are those counting machines? That's a joke, obviously. But yeah, it is a hard job. I'm not joking. I'm being genuine. But yeah, the Broski had a great show. Go check it out. Why are the Texans getting so many running backs? I don't know. He'll tell you though. He'll tell you. He'll tell you. We also talked about the Perea thing, but we'll still talk about it today. But it's funny how they're promoting SmackDown's World Championship match. That's weird. All right, I'm gonna put it on mute so that I don't get copyrighted, and then I am going to get a different camera. Dude, Paul just did the my name is Paul Heyman, and then he did the his name is Austin Theory. Dude, little like a literally a little vomit came out of my throat. Let me just get a real quick check on it. You know what's funny? Seth Rollins, like, there's not even anybody in the vision now that betrayed him. Reed's gone. And by the way, it wasn't even Reed. I mean, yes, Reed ultimately decided to betray him, but you're going to pick the, monster jack dude right next to you, or you're going to pick the guy who's been habitually injured and on the shelf for the extended amount of time. I mean, I don't know if you can blame Reed for his decision. But that said, dude, I hate to admit it, but Logan Paul is looking all sorts of wrestler jack, bro. That kind of vascularity, that's not for normal dudes. That's not for normal dudes. He says I hate that freaking song. Do you? Do you, Paul? All right, let me get set up here real quick. There we go. Man, it just feels like who gives a shit, right? Like, what does it matter? But I guess you have to go Seth Rollins, Logan Paul. But they've already done it. Now we know why they needed Rhea Ripley and Jade, the first time ever gimmick, because they had it nowhere else. It was like WrestleMania. The subtext was going to be like, hey, feels like you've seen it before because you have. I mean, you redo Las Vegas after announcing New Orleans, by the way. And then you're like, you just fucking go full forward, and then you do the same matches, like a lot of them from the same, like a lot of them are programs running from that long. And here's the thing, Rhea Io Sky would have been one of the better programs to continue because it had continuity, history, and they're fucking interesting. They came from enemies who were wrestling each other. Then they were friends who respected each other that wrestled each other. And then they were allies. And then they were like best friends, tag team partners, tag team champs. Ugh. I just don't see it with Theory. That dude, how much less does Austin Theory make sense now? All of us at the very beginning were like, well, he's obviously going to be, in cahoots with Seth Rollins. But explain what any of the mass stuff was. Like, did Seth, like, I don't understand. Like, did he think that people were going to think that it was for Austin Theory? I don't, who knows? There's no way. God damn it. I hit myself in the fucking face. There's no way they would run Seth Rollins Austin Theory, right? Like, no way. I mean, if Adam Pierce doesn't wrestle a Paul Heyman be Logan Paul or see Austin Theory at some point in this WrestleMania 2-day event, I don't know what any of this was for then. I really don't. I mean, listen, at this point, there's no bigger arch nemesis to the Vision than Adam Pearce, and vice versa, by the way. Yo, he just chunked that mic. Yes, please.
You gonna drink that or you
No, I think the deep. Well, actually, no. This one still is good. Top two. Oh, thank you. Another masked man. No. 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 This isn't gonna fly. No. No. There's zero reason for any of this. I mean, it's obviously not Seth Rollins, right? Because Seth Rollins isn't fully cleared yet and he wouldn't be able to like run, right? Or is that stupid to say? Or does that sound like nonsense? Yo, they made Paul take that chair shot, dude. It might be a little better if you stop looking back, Paul, but whatever. You know, this was exactly what I booked, by the way, when I said it should be Cody Rhodes. I never thought it was Cody Rhodes, and I was never suggesting it should be Cody Rhodes. What I was saying was that if it was going to be Cody Rhodes, the best way to do it would be to like basically like make Cody Rhodes like the one behind the mask guys, right? And then it end up being like his Nightmare faction people, right? So it would be what's his name? Ricky Saints. I kept wanting to call him Ricky Starks. Ricky Saints, Jade Cargill. Hell, even bring someone else up as like the lackey. You know, one thing they still haven't done that I think would be really, really useful is if they were to utilize young talents that they see having a future in the WWE, guys like a Roman Reigns type, Zilla Fatu, probably maybe not, I don't know. But like somebody who you think is going to be that guy, right? And then like having them on like a kind of like a manager or like a ringside guy type of role, like in a faction. So he's pulling double duty every week, right? He's getting actual time on NXT to wrestle and have programs and storylines that he leads, right? While on the main roster contributing in a side role, right? Because at the end of the day, what you want is to have a guy that you believe in. Again, let's use like a Zilla Fatu, right? Because one of the big things that people say about him is that he's never going to like not learn, but his ego's too big to ever like be told how to work specifically or things like that. And I'm not saying I believe that one way or the other. It's just what what people put out there, that narrative. And it's like, if that's one of your fears, right? Well, then humble him by making him pull double fucking duty, right? On the road in NXT, on the road for Raw or SmackDown, whatever. As a henchman or whatever, right? Like kind of the job they're doing to the big guy in the MFT's faction. What's his name? Tall Fatu. I honestly I forget. It's like Tonga, right? Tall Tonga, something like that, dude. That's a crazy name, bro. That's such a crazy name to give him. But anyway, yeah, I just think you could do that, and it would benefit having somebody, get the time to work on NXT while being forced to sit at the front of the class on Raw or SmackDown. And fuck that. That's not even being at the front of the class. That's like being the teacher's aide. That's like the TA of the class. You're the TA. You're in that spot. Like you're seeing everything, you know? Think of Solo, right? With the bloodline at first, like very beginning Solo, right? If he pulled a little bit of double duty time for just a little bit, but if imagine they did it from the very beginning, and even like a power move, Roman being like, you know what, dude, nah, I'm calling it. I'm telling you, this kid is coming with us on the road. And they'd be like, well, like, he's not an official member of Raw. Like, we can't, like, I don't give a shit. I'm not asking for him to be. I'm telling you, he's coming with us. He's good in the locker room. I'm telling you. And if the boys got a problem with it, tell him to find me. I need that Roman, bro. Man, that was better than anything they've done with Roman. Yo, I just got myself excited. Pause. Yo, Matt said, get Paul Heyman a fucking Oscar. Bro, I swear to God, Matt, when he came out, I said, yo, he's looking a little Ninja Turtle-y right now, right? More than usual, right? No body shame, not at all. I'm just saying it was like, yo, something's up. I'm not going to lie. I saw that, but I didn't say anything, so I'm not going to give myself any credit. Yo, imagine if it's nothing and he just took that bear like that, bro. That would be crazy. Yo, but this is how you do it. See, this was a very, very good segment. Okay. Unfortunately, it was something that was like probably would have had a better reaction if it was done like a month ago or 2 months ago to explain any one of the other masked men's up into and including Austin Theory. Oh shit. Yo, Paul has got all sorts of prop blood coming out. This is a good segment, bro. This is a good segment. Listen to me. Seth is not cleared. All right. This is brilliant right here if you think about it. Seth is not cleared. Do y'all understand that? He's not cleared. And so because he's not cleared, he can't go out there and get physical. And if he can't get physical, then how do you promote this upcoming match that he's clearly going to have at Mania? How do you promote it? Especially if Braun Breaker, the guy that you would have been telling the story with from the very beginning, you threw Jimmy Uso out. That kind of dampers it a little. Because, like, why, right? Oh, the attack on his brother, Jay. Dude, I forgot all about that. Yo, what a completely looked over. Because everybody assumed that they did it for a reason when it came to the thing. That's one masked man mystery. Now the Grande Americano story. Hey, bro, that's the real moneymaker right there. Hey, bro, real talk, Matt. Hey, I'm gonna put this on while I say it. Y'all ain't gonna catch me not giving credit to Machine Gun. Check this out. Hey, be honest right now. Be honest right now. At the end of both feuds, all right, this masked man guy, I'll even give you back to Austin Theory. At the end of both these feuds, this one that comes to its conclusion, likely at Mania, maybe even long after SummerSlam, whatever, because Braun Breaker is going to come back, and the Grande Americano feud, however long that lasts, right? And I mean, it's still going on, obviously. Which one makes more money at the end of the day? I'm telling you right now, it's the Grande Americanos. Bro, the masks are going to fly off the shelves at Mania. That's probably going to be top 3 biggest sellers at Mania. If they find a way to get what's his name? Mystery Iguana in there, then his doll will be the biggest attraction or whatever. The hell was that? He goes, ah! Yo, that was really, really good. Honestly, I'm calling it now. Hold on. Matt said, I'm calling it now. It will be an unsanctioned match at Mania. I get I get Mania, but wouldn't it make more sense at Triple Mania at an arena in Mexico? Yeah, I mean, probably, but I think that the fact is they have enough. I think they could tell the story again and again. Like honestly, I think it's a different story in AAA. Like in AAA, if you've noticed, like they reverse roles. Like they come to WWE, Chad Gable's the face and Ludwig's the heel, but then you go to AAA and they're cheering the Ludwig version of the character and booing the Chad Gable version. It's fucking crazy, bro. It's so weird. But it is and it isn't, because the WWE booked Ludwig to turn against Dominic at one of their last shows in December. It was their last show. I covered it for fightsatcw.com. Make sure you go to fightsatcw.com. They got Gunther and Dragon Lee. They utilize this guy to take him out for the AJ, and then they do the throwaway match on Raw to open it up. I get it, I guess. Bum, 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 bum. Where are they in Knoxville? Indianapolis. Doo-doo. At the blink of an eye. See, and that's kind of the problem with this version or this gun with Gunther at this point. It's like you've gone life and death with so many guys like Dragon Lee that it's like I don't know, like what do you believe at this point? That he's a wrestler that you can outclap or like outmaneuver at points in the match, or he's a guy that doesn't show up unless it like really counts. I don't know. It's weird. It would be awesome to see like Dragon Lee get a win in this situation. I think that's like a really good story as far as like continuity. I mean, I'm not saying Dragon Lee would be a guy that you could like put everything behind. I'm just saying that, you know, if you're going to eventually give Gunther a redemption arc, I don't know if you can do that as a heel, but it would be so weird to see Gunther as a face though, right? Yo, I was saying that this Rollins decoy, though, this was so good. And it's genius, like I said, because you're using a guy who's not cleared, right? And you're able to not have him take any damage, right? But in a way that works with the story. And here's the beauty of it. You already got yours on Paul. See, the redemption arc of CM Punk and Roman Reigns eventually getting their revenge on Paul Heyman, right? It played out in a way that ended up being the storyline and the main story arc by the time it came to the actual match itself, right? But in this case, I'm not saying you burned it like it was a waste. I'm saying you used it in a way that plays towards the story, right? So you're not making Paul Heyman the main focus anymore. And you can argue that Seth has now gotten his revenge on everyone. Might have worked really well if you could have somehow fit in Seth Rollins to being the reason that Reed isn't good anymore. I mean, I don't know, dude. It would have been that would have been really hard. I'm not holding that against them at all. There's no way you could predict that somebody's just going to get injured, obviously. And then once you do that, you can't work with him in any sort of regard that, you know, even if you wanted to retcon things, you couldn't do it. So I get that. And I appreciate the sanctity to the story. But ultimately, this was genius. You use Seth Rollins like this until he's cleared, and you're only building up to him being in action. Like, this is going to make it so that Seth Rollins feels like an attraction, you know, not in the way that Brock Lesnar did, of course, but in a way that you could argue is better for WrestleMania season, right? These crowds are going to get these moments with Seth Rollins and they're going to pop for him and they're going to be happy and excited all throughout the road to, you know, the remainder of the road to WrestleMania. But once you get to Mania, if he hasn't had a match or even if he's only had like one tag team match or something, you've saved his singles appearance for then. That would be big. The question would be, though, if you're Seth Rollins, do you use that moment and that stage at Mania to do one of two things? One, you come back and you show everybody that this injury narrative, that this, best in the world narrative, all this bullshit, I'm still that guy. You want to talk about the best worker? You want to talk about the best worker pound for pound when we're talking about the top of the card? Then we're talking about me. When you talk about Roman, you're talking about star power. When you talk about CM Punk, you're talking about legend. But when you talk about Seth Rollins, you're talking about the guy that goes. So that could be the narrative he goes for. That could be the redeeming, the arc that he goes with, right? Or do you use that stage and that opportunity to unveil a more safe version of the character? Because ultimately, I think you can argue that Seth doesn't have a lot left in him if he continues to wrestle the way we've become accustomed to seeing him, right? Yo, what the fuck happened? I didn't see it. You gonna show the replay or? All right, I can't wait. I'm too anxious. I gotta watch it. Oh, okay, but it's a little like. Oh, that was nice. Yeah, that was a little over the board, right? A little over the top. Like we've seen them go through the table like crazy. Now, here's the other part. Does Seth end up utilizing any of these guys from his roster, like from his gym and shit? I don't know. It's kind of hard to suggest that that's going to be the case. So, what are we expecting from the Roman Punk segment for tonight? Dude, I'll be honest. I think everything's on the table, but I think it has to be addressed what Roman said about the Chicago crowd looking bored or looking as tired as CM Punk. You got to go that route because, you're in a situation where reality has been what has driven home this feud or this program. You know what I mean? Reality is what has made everybody so interested in this feud in the first place. So it would be a disservice if they don't, address that main aspect of it. I think. Yo, Dragon Lee hit him with a lariat, bro? Come on. Nope. There's the. This would be a fucking dope time for Dragon Lee to hit that. Well, no. It would have been a dope time for Dragon Lee to like hit that flip off, like that push off of the second middle buckle and then flip over where he's still in the choke, but his like feet are behind him and like get the pin that way. So it's like he's got the hold, but he's got the pin. You know what I mean? You sell Gunther as a badass, and yet Dragon Lee gets the rub. But how many times can you tell that story though? This isn't the battle that Gunther thought he was gonna have. Like, yeah, no shit, dude. But at what point are we idiots that we should have expected it? Like, all right, let's see if I can do it like this, like this. Dude, everybody keeps making fun of the way I take selfies. I don't know why. Like 3 people today told me that I take selfies like a weirdo. Wait, what? What was that about the flip? Were they running a contest? I didn't even know. I didn't even know. To be fair, Oscar does have a reason to be pissed. I mean, 4 people interfered in the men. Io Sky couldn't at least attempt to climb the cage like that other guy did. That was the only foolish thing about the whole thing, right? You had the decoy come, which I had talked about earlier in the show, if you got it. Oh, AJ Lee. That Chicago crowd really did not pop for AJ Lee at all, or at least not as much as I thought they would. I thought she was going to get over way more. I think so did WWE. Oh yeah, the first hour live on ESPN, the main channel for WrestleMania. Mm-mm. Damn, she's choking Io. That's kind of fucked up. Mm. I don't fully blame that Chicago crowd either, because here's the thing. I'm a fan of AJ Lee. Not because she no, that's a lie. I mean, yeah, it's probably partly because she represents some sort of like nostalgia connection in my brain. But I was already a fan of AJ Lee before she returned. First of all, that book she wrote was really good. I didn't finish it all, but I had got it on audio from the library, and it was really good. Honestly, she talked about a lot of issues at a time where those issues weren't really talked about. You know, if you followed this channel or if you followed my other channel that got nuked last May, you know that I am a very big proponent of men's health. I think that men are, I mean, most, not a lot of men, I shouldn't say all men. I mean, obviously, there's a big spectrum out there, but a lot of men are, pushed through life, or like, they go through life and they feel certain pressures. Um, and mental health is never like a thing that's afforded to them from society or their work or institution or religion or government or whatever. It's never really considered. And don't get me wrong, obviously, like, your religion can, help you mentally as well as spiritually, but not everything can be combated in that way. And you really have to like take care of yourself in that regard. And it, I hate to put it this way, honestly, because it makes me feel like I sound like a skeptic or whatever. But truthfully speaking, mental health at one point was something that was like kind of taboo to talk about, right? And the people that talked about it, like, they were champions for it because they saw no benefit of it, right? But at some point, the reverse happened, right? And so many people started to open up about mental health, and specifically men too, that it became kind of trendy, right? And we've seen cases of influencers or celebrities like abuse the narrative, right? There was that writer on Grey's Anatomy. I don't know if any of you heard of her before, but she was like this writer who had won a bunch of awards, and she faked all these illnesses, not just mental illness or mental health illnesses, but emotional illnesses. Eventually, she faked cancer, and that's like something broken in somebody that is like in need of mental health in the first place. It's ironic, but it's like different now, right? Over the last few years, like, you could be just like a grifter. You could just be somebody using the idea of mental health as an institution for which you gain money or advance your brand, either monetarily or in a way that you later exploit monetarily. But either way, AJ Lee was talking about that shit way before it was cool, way before it paid to do it. And yet I was disappointed with that match. And I've been a little bit disappointed with her return. I mean, it's like this thing where, oh shit, the lights are on. I just realized that. That's my ADD, by the way. But it's a thing where it's like, dude, she wrestled this like ultra generic match, and she's just been like this generic face. And the reason why she was cool, I don't know, cool, but the reason why I liked her, I think, and a lot of her fans, is like she had this like crazy, and that probably is a bad word to use, but she had this like uncontrollable aspect to her performances, you know what I mean, to her style, in ring style. And that's just like totally missing, right? Like, at no moment on Saturday did we even get a glimpse of that. In fact, there was very little story that we got from that at all, other than Becky tapping, which plays to a bigger arc of Becky not accepting her limitations or faults, or, you know, resorting to what she was, voted as like years ago. You know what I mean? Like, you deserve it. I thought they were chanting, "You still got it." What does that mean? You remembered me when some people wish they'd forget? I already don't like this because it's like you're teasing like you're not gonna wrestle Becky at Mania, but that's exactly who you're gonna wrestle at Mania. So I could feel like a comedy angle coming on right now where like Maxine Dupree answers the call and then Natty beats the shit out of her and then Becky comes out and beats the shit out of her. Oh, it's gonna be so disappointing when it's literally Becky. They're I don't know, maybe they'll surprise us. What do you think? Maybe they'll surprise us and it literally won't be Becky. What are the odds that it won't be Becky? The hell? Penta's dressed like he's gonna go to a funeral, a lucha funeral. This doesn't make any sense. Why is Chad Gable now just like a face? These are the moments where I'm glad Vince McMahon's not here because I fucking guarantee you that one of the segments from now to their match would be like a Duolingo bout in the ring, like on a random Monday. And they would challenge to who knows better Spanish. Or you know what it would be? It would be like a super racist version of like who's more Mexican, right? And then it would be like stages throughout the show. So like the first segment would be like a Spanish lesson, and they have like a tutor with like flashcards, and you know what I mean. And we see one of them's winning, one of them's losing, And then like an hour later, we cut back and there's another segment and they're like playing one-on-one soccer with each other. And then like, I don't know, the next one is like, I don't know, who could drink more Coronas? That sounds racist, but that sounds exactly what they would do. So here's the thing. I think that would be fucking hilarious. All right. Um, or like who could get to the worm first? The worm. Jesus Christ, why am I having trouble saying that? The worm first. I'll be right back. Oh, you found the things. You found the bookends. Because I'm a big stepper, microphone wrecker. Let's see. Do 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 do. Hey, what's going on, Trey? Appreciate you tapped in. Hey, Mike, what's going on? Champ, Cuzzo. Appreciate you tapped in too. Uh, how did the class go? Oh, I appreciate you asking, champ. Yeah, I actually didn't pay attention to shit. I logged in because it was like you can go back and take the class. I mean, not the class. You could do the seminar. But it was really just like an introduction to the class. And it went like over the syllabus and stuff. But there's no grade or nothing. It's not. It's like just like a not an accreditation. What's it called? It's like a certificate. Like it's literally nothing. It's like something you could print at Kinko's. The only reason why I take it is because the professors are like world. You know what I mean? They're like the leaders in their um field. Like for the most part. I mean, it's fucking Harvard. You know what I mean? Like I'd assume. I mean, like I know like some of the professors that they have that are like renowned in like math or like um they have like a laureate novelist. They have I don't know, they have a bunch of fucking people. It's fucking Harvard, right? Not that I'm saying you should just assume that like like Ivy League or collegiate anything is just better. I'm just saying that if you don't know shit about a subject, right, then an expert's obviously going to be one of the best places you can go to at least learn the like basic or fundamental principles. I tried to sign up for the guitar one, but it did not work at all. It did not compute for them. They I think it wasn't even that they were like filled up so fast. I think it was that they just don't have a lot of spots. I mean, I guess that's kind of the I mean that goes hand in hand, I guess. But yeah, I appreciate you asking. Um I don't know, dude. I'm like I don't know. I'm in like a weird place because like I don't know, the channel's doing okay, you know what I mean? Like I'm growing. It's obviously consistency is the thing that works. Also, I think sharing more of my personal life has helped. I think a lot more people like have subbed and like, you know, hit me up or like reached out and stuff, which wasn't happening a lot before. Um, but it's like, man, I just have so many more like things just draw me away so much like in other areas. And and then like I look into them, I research them, and I find them like so interesting, and I just want to like share them. And then at the same time, it's like these things bring on like different, you know, political or like sociological like issues that people are on one side of the fence or the other, and I don't know. Like I don't want to be controversial, but at the same time, like I really do think that conversation and dialogue is the key to understanding and finding neutral ground. I think one of the reasons we're in a position we're in today is because so many try to silence others on their other side, you know, and it happens on both sides of the spectrum, but I don't know. I want to do something that counts, but at the same time, who wants the hassle? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'm good where I'm at though. You know what's so sad? It's just like you have to put masks on these guys to realize how fucking good they are. Like they're having a banger match that they never would have had the chance to run if they did not have these masks on. All I know is that the Ludwig Americano is, I don't know, he's just better at aura farming. You know what I mean? Like he just has this like luchador like vibe to him. It's hard to explain, but like because there's the luchador you've seen in like America, right? But like if you watch like actual like actual lucha shit, right? Like like storylines, like all that, like you see it's like very dramatic, like the telenovelas. And when it comes to the lucha aspect of it, there really is like a bad guy and a good guy, but they like enhance those versions, right? So it's more of like a superhero good guy and an evil villain bad guy. And Ludwig just has this air of, I don't know, like just a shit eating grin that I don't know, he just does it so well, dude. He's like he embodies the absolute aura of a heel, of like a heel that you would find in lucha. Yo, I don't even think that I don't even know if they're gonna even wrestle at this point before Mania. No, they have to put this match on at Mania. Like the latest rumors were that these that they thought that they could make a shit ton of money off of this one.
And they're right.
They're absolutely right. They're gonna make a shit ton of money off of it because the thing is that they are able to just like really push home that merch shit, you know. Ooh. Oh, I know. I've been hearing it. What is that? Allergies or what? Oh, I get that. So, like, what we go 5-5 on the matches. What did we have last year? It was 4-4 or 5-5 for Mania Night 1 and Night 2. So there were 14 matches total. So 7-7. Is that how it went? Let me see. Jesus Christ, this fucking entry on night 1 and night 2 is crazy long on Wikipedia. 1, 2, 7. 7. Yeah, 7-7. Man, I almost forgot for a second that Jey Uso tapped Gunther last year. Holy shit. You can't say that the cracks, the chinks in the armor weren't there. Chinks in the armor? Chinks in the armor. Is it that sounds like I shouldn't be saying that anymore. Is it the kinks in the armor? That's what it is. I can't believe how much time they're giving the wrestling tonight. After a show that was like 50% adverts. Yo, this is a very good match. Listen, I'm about to say something a little controversial here, but for all the AEW has the better wrestling, that is not because AEW has the better wrestling. It's because they showcase the best wrestling, right? Like, we don't get this, but these two guys have been in the company for Jesus Christ, like a decade together, probably even longer for Chad Gable. Like, oh man, I mean, this is just like really good stuff, dude. Listen to me. El Grande Americano just did a moonsault, and Ryu Americano tried put up the boot to block it in reverse or counter, and Grande landed on his feet, caught the ankle, and attempted the ankle lock submission. I mean, dude, come on. That's don't tell me what I just described to you didn't sound like the baddest fucking awesomest shit you've ever heard. Like last night, right? The Finn Balor, God, this one's so far behind. What the hell? I don't understand. Yeah, dude, these guys are going, bro. Like you could put this pound for pound against anything that AW does this week. I'm not saying AW won't have the better matches or the total of better matchups. I'm just saying that the debate, if you have it in AEW's favor, it's because you don't get as much of this type shit on Raw. I mean, dude, Chad Gable is just all sorts of jacked. So you could say like 14 matches, 15 is probably like safe to say because it'll be the heavyweight title match, the world title match. I'm assuming we get a Jey Uso Jimmy Uso tag team match, and you'd have to assume somebody in the Vision. I mean, who's even going to be healthy enough at that point? We learn Bronson Reed's going to be out for a while. And that's going to start to like bring up some more questions on Bronson Reed. Like here's the thing, right? There's no question Bronson Reed is an immense talent. The question is whether or not he can be trusted for long-term bookings. If you're WWE and this is now the third time that something's happened that has interfered with his push, and both times before he had just entered into like new territory, and it wasn't just like a new program, it was like he was being leveled up. It was like a program on a bigger level, and so all that happens, and then you can't show up the next week because you're injured. That just doesn't do well to it doesn't bode well for you, I'd say. Oh, what'd you say? Let me see. Oh, the Jim Carrey thing. Do I think that was Jim Carrey? Yeah, I do think it was Jim Carrey. I think that what is it? Arkham's Razor? Is it Arkham? It's not Arkham. That's fucking where Batman sends Joker. What is it? Occam's Razor? Is it Occam? I don't know. Whatever the fuck it is. Basically, it says like the most likely scenario is the is the most likely scenario, or whatever it is. It's something like that. But anyway, the point is that in that case, in the case of Jim Carrey, the most likely thing is that he had done what the vast majority of Hollywood actors, in fact, probably like 99.99% of all of them that reach the level of a Jim Carrey have had done, and that's a botched surgery. Babe, other than Botox, what would you say that Jim Carrey definitely had done based on the recent images? A facelift? He's got wrinkles on the side of his ears, and that points to a bad facelift, or just like all facelifts eventually do that. So all facelifts have that kind of skin. Okay, very interesting. So my wife says that you can tell a botched facelift by the wrinkles on the side of the ear. You said, yeah. Also, and what else? Oh, and she's saying that if you check the person's butthole. No, I'm just kidding. She didn't say that part. But yeah, so she's saying that it looked like a bad facelift to her. And no, she's not a plastic surgeon. However, I can assure you that she has seen far too many episodes of the show Botched. Like far too many. And so, huh? I'm just saying. Listen, my wife knows a bad um plastic surgery job when she sees one. So I would say like he had like bad Botox. And then I'd probably also say that he was we hadn't seen him like his face like that in a really long time because he'd had like a beard and like a bunch of different like looks. So also like I wasn't used to seeing him smile that much. I think that was what was creeping me out more than ever. Like I'm a Jim Carrey guy. I love Jim Carrey. I grew up in the era of I didn't grow up in the era of um um in Living Color, but I grew up in the era where it was syndicated on FX. And I Jim Carrey's hilarious. He is so good at what he does. That said, over the years, especially this last decade, you could tell he's grown very annoyed by the Hollywood lifestyle. How did I get so far? What the fuck? There's that number Kel to challenge AJ. Okay, so the narrative now on Raw is Finn is having an external crisis about cheating and doing things the right way or whatever. Um and Jesus, another advert. The hell? All right. Well, I guess we're gonna get an impromptu Obafemi Rusev. Yo, what if they squash Rusev? Honestly, that's what they should do. It's not that I dislike Rusev. It's that I mean, when he came back, he should have squashed people. Like that's like I get it. I get, you know, the idea of getting guys over in this era versus like the era I grew up in, right? Like they had squash guys back then. They called them jobbers, right? And that doesn't really exist. Like, yes, there are guys like talking now with a, I guess you could classify as a jobber, but there were jobbers that like weren't characters. They were just dudes that showed up on the road. If you've ever seen there's this awesome documentary called Bigger, Faster, Stronger. It's an awesome documentary from the 2000s, and basically it's about steroid usage in sports, and it's one of the first, like, I think really authentic looks at steroids from all angles, and the guy did a really good job of it. I can't remember the guy's name. His brother's Big Smelly. If you ever watch YouTube fitness in the 2010s, he's the guy that invented the sling, the bench sling thing. If you ever seen guys wearing it and they put it on their arms, it's like it's like essentially what straps or knee wraps do for your squat. I like this. You know why I like this segment? Because Rusev called him out, and this is supposed to be an impromptu match. So Obafemi comes out in fucking boots and a shirt and a fucking and pants. Oh shit, Rusev. Oh wow, we're finally seeing Obafemi take some offense. Oh shit, bro. He just slammed Rusev into the fucking ground. Yo, he slammed Rusev so hard, Undertaker said, "Hey, keep it down up there." That was a joke about the Undertaker and coming out of the ring because he did it a lot. Bro, they said, Rusev, you got two jobs today. All right. You got two jobs today. Your jobs are first, very easy. We need you to climb on top of the commentator's desk. You're going to cut your promo, climb down from the commentator's desk. Now, the next thing we're going to need you to do is we're going to need you to get as close to the ceiling as you possibly can before Obafemi buries your ass. Jesus, was that a brutal spot. Yo, he went over the ropes. I can't listen to me. I'm not fucking being hyperbolic right now. Is that what it is? Hyperbolic? Did I say the right word? I'm not being a troll. I'm not being anything other than honest when I tell you Rusev went above the ropes at the point that Obafemi sent him into the nether realm. All right. I'll be honest, I don't know why Bailey and Lyra are even on TV. I'm the biggest Lyra Valkyrie fan. I think she has a bright future. But what is this even anymore? So Lyra Valkyrie and Bailey both go to Adam Pierce to ask for that AJ Lee title shot that Raquel Rodriguez was already inquiring about. Oh, a Jimmy Uso solo promo. It is very weird to see an Uso name on the video package. Even weirder to see one of them come out through the gorilla spot. The way she says it every time. Jimmy. Dude, this is the first Raw of the road to WrestleMania without a major stop, right? So in years past, they usually capitalize on the Elimination Chamber aftermath, which is not the case here. And it almost feels like, what did the chamber happen for? Not the event, because obviously AJ Lee, this is interesting what they have for her. A bunch of people coming out of the woodwork. I mean, it kind of is exactly what they're doing with Drew McIntyre on SmackDown. So it's got to feel different, because I just realized that's the exact same story they're running with Drew. It's like everybody's coming for him, but AJ is like different because she initiated the challenge. It's like the face version of that storyline versus the heel version of that storyline. You know what I mean? But dude, what could give you I hate even saying this, but what could give you a limper dick than Jimmy Uso and Austin Theory? Like, as far as WrestleMania is related, like, what on earth could either of them be doing at Mania that you're going to be like, oh my God, this is exciting? Title match, tag team, but who the fuck is Austin? Oh my God. What if they recruit Waller? That would be crazy. No, that doesn't work. But then again, who knows what they try? All I know is that it's weird in the sense that Seth Rollins is beefing with a faction that had literally nothing to do with what happened to him. And I guess you could argue that, they represent the faction that, took him out, but I don't know, it's like kind of loses its luster. They got to be hoping Braun Breaker's coming back by then, right? You got to be hoping for Braun Breaker coming back at this point before Mania, because Seth Rollins and Austin Theory is not a Mania match. I'm sorry. Not at this point. Logan Paul, Seth Rollins is definitely a Mania match, but they've already ran it before, like we were talking about earlier. Oh, shit. Of course I did that. Yo, that Resident Evil commercial makes the video game look must play. What do we got this weekend UFC wise? It's Oliveira, right? Yep, Holloway versus Oliveira 2. It's a decent undercard too. Baralo's fighting Rainier, and Font is fighting Rosas. That's gonna be a good fight, man. Puerto Rico, Mexico. That's a good fight. Michael Johnson on the undercard versus Drew Dober. Drew Dober's an interesting fight. With he's an interesting fight for Michael Johnson. He's got, decent amount of stoppages with both knockouts and submissions. You know, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, freestyle type of guy versus pure wrestler Michael Johnson. Drew is coming off of one fight win, or coming off of a win, I should say. That win actually snapped a 3-fight losing streak. So, as I was saying, it's an interesting style matchup in that it's not a fight that you would say, hey, this is a must-see matchup. And yet it also doesn't really represent anything paramount for the lightweight division. Not to, no pun intended. Raul Rosas, it's an interesting fight with Font for sure. This is definitely like a real test for this kid. I like him, man. He's got a really good personality. He knows how the media works. He's got a really great story. Young. Yeah, that's gonna be a good card. Oh, Jay, what a shock. What a shock. No. No. He's I was about to say, if he comes through the crowd yeeting with his brother getting his ass beat, that's messed up. Okay, so they definitely think they're going somewhere else for the Seth Rollins stuff. They got to assume Braun Breaker's coming back in time. But it's a weird situation because Braun Breaker coming back after Rollins positions him in the oh shit. What the fuck was that? Yo, Jimmy. All right, whatever. So they're gonna go. They're gonna go. Yo. No. No way. They just did a video package for tonight's promo where Punk was cosplaying himself during the pipe bomb. Oh, Danhausen. Danhausen said, I came out to a thunderous applause. Dom is now officially the first curse in Danhausen's WWE era. Yo, if Penta wins the IC title a year after he should have, and then they ruin whatever they have planned for Dom's Mania, unforgivable. Unforgivable. That was hilarious. He said, I came out to a thunderous applause. She's saying thank you to Rio, but Rio kind of looks some type of way right now. Never mind. They're gonna do this. Cool. Women's champion. All right, I'll be honest. I'm okay with this. I would rather, if this is ever going to be like contentious again, that it be at a time where they can actually pay attention to each other, right? Like if you're going to have a side feud at WrestleMania, the only side feud that I can see in the women's roster making any sort of a sense that doesn't take away from the match would be Raquel Rodriguez inside the Stephanie Vaquer Liv Morgan match. They're gonna do a gauntlet next Monday between Lyra, Bailey, Io, Raquel, Asuka, and Ivy Nile. That's pretty dope. And then Obafemi and Rusev next week. I'm telling y'all right now, the right call is for Oba to squash Rusev. Again, I am a fan of Rusev. I don't dislike him. I don't know if his return to WWE has been, the best or maybe even expected. But you have to admit that at the end of the day, Penta's getting a fire ass entrance. There's no way he's winning, right? There's no way he's winning, right? Wait, what about this? What about this? Listen, okay, real quick, listen. Okay, so Penta goes and they have the match with Dom, right? And right now the narrative is, if you're just joining us, which I appreciate if you're tapped in, please hit the like, please hit the sub, please hit the follow. If they go this route, then what they can do is right here, if they do drop the title, which I highly doubt, but if they are going to drop the title in a way that continues the narrative, what we want to see with Dom and Finn, then what will happen is, because the narrative right now is that Finn is like, dude, we're done cheating. Punk called me on my shit. He's like, bro, you're good enough to be the champion without these clowns' help, specifically referring to Dom. And then he's like, nah, you gotta play that. You're getting played out by just being in this faction, right? And so Finn doesn't not choose the Judgment Day, right? Which is what we thought was going to happen. Instead, it seems like now he's trying to shift the Judgment Day, right? And not necessarily into faces, but into not working as heels. Dom is like, yo, I need y'all out there. And that's been a struggle for Dom since his IC title reign even began, right? It began and thrived because he continued to find intricate, creative ways to cheat, which has been brilliant, right? It's been like the second coming of Eddie Guerrero. So if you have JD go out there and Dom expect him to interfere, and then Finn grab whatever object Dom has thrown him to interfere, Dom see it, they get into like, what the hell are you doing? And Finn's like, no, dude, we're supposed to be. And then Penta pins him. That sets it off. That sets it off right there. There's no coming back from that, I don't think. Yeah, that would work. But do you need a title on the line for Finn and Dom? I don't think you do. But at the same time, doesn't the Finn Balor story end better with gold? I get it. He's not the world champion, but that was never really the storyline. You know, he's been the champion before, right? This isn't like a Cody Rhodes finished the story or a Sami Zayn. You know, have you not taken advantage of your moments simply because you're trying to uphold some moral decency code that you see as a face? Like, those are very interesting storylines, or were very interesting storylines. And yet this remains different. Finn Balor is like doing something uniquely Finn Balor, and I like it. I'm here for it. At the same time, like I said, him finishing with gold, I think, makes for a better story. This is going to be interesting. I think we're going to really get something here, guys. I really do. I think we're going to get something here. I still don't think Dom's dropping the title, all right, even though that was a fire ass entrance, literally a fire ass entrance that Penta had. I don't think he's dropping the title. That said, I do believe we will get at least the makings or the initial narrative to drive home the storyline between Dom and Finn for WrestleMania. I'll tell you what, based on the show that we do, and shout out to all the new people that are tapped in. We are live Monday through Thursday, plus for all the big pay-per-view, PLEs, boxing, wrestling, MMA. We'll be live this weekend for the UFC, Holloway, Oliveira too. And we'll be live next Saturday, for the Deontay Wilder fight, with Chisora. And of course, we'll be live for WrestleMania. But if you're just joining us, we are in the middle of a Penta Dom IC title match. And yeah, I think this is interesting. His name's Kenny? The fuck? How did I not know that? All right, so Penta and Dom start it off with a little little traditional catch can hold type wrestling. Nice sidekick from Dom. Oof. Penta looking sharp from the get-go. What's the over-under on Michael Cole saying, remember last year, Penta took the WWE by storm, or Monday Night Raw by storm? Oof. Yo, Penta's getting the best of Dom right now. Oof. Yo, this offense is continuing. The narrative is set, bro. The narrative is set for Dom to get desperate and expect a little bit of love from the Judgment Day. The table's set. All right. The table's set. Because it's not just like, oh, they're going back and forth. Penta's got a hold of the momentum early. And if you keep pushing Dom, you keep pushing, you're gonna get him to break. This is very good storytelling. Yeah, because it's like you're seeing Dom trying to wrestle a slow paced match. At the same time, you're seeing Penta absolutely take it to him. And even in these moments where Dom happens to catch Penta, he is very quickly having the momentum taken from him. So, yeah, very good setup so far. Penta's just too good, dude. He's just too good. It should be illegal to be that good. Didn't even come close to touching the rope. Maybe he tipped it, if you know what I mean. What the fuck is this? It's like a Netflix house? Huh. In Dallas and Philadelphia. I wonder why those were the markets. How are they making a Ready or Not Part 2? If you've seen that movie, it's like, and she gets caught again? Are we sure that this isn't the fucking Epstein story? Jesus Christ. What the fuck is that? That's a weird. I'm gonna watch it because I like the first one, but yo, this Attitude Era WWE 2K looks amazing. The Monday Night War edition, it looks fire. I think I'm gonna have to get it. I just don't want to be such a mark all the time and just be like, oh, I'm gonna buy everything that they sell me. I've got a closet of like 32 wrestling shirts. And you want to hear something? You want to hear something fucking crazy? 32 wrestling shirts right now in my closet. There are another 40 in 2 bags under the bed. You know the bags that you put the vacuum hose in. It's like and it sucks in the air so that you can have more space because that's how fucking much of a hoarder you are. Do you know what I'm talking about? Well, that's what I have under our bed. Mind you, that's where we put our clothes that, we're saving for no other reason, right? Other than it's not that season or you just don't want to throw it away. My wife has 2 winter clothes items in there that are heavy jackets. I have 40 wrestling shirts and 1 jacket. I have 1 winter jacket and I have 40 wrestling shirts that I don't wear, that are not in rotation. To be fair, some of them are, sentimental. They don't fit. They're from when I was a kid, but my grandma got it for me and she helped raise us. So but yeah, I got a problem, dude. I'm not gonna lie. story continues. All right, we're seeing some emotional support from the Judgment Day. So, camera shot over, we saw JD clapping it up, urging Dom on. We saw Finn nodding in agreement with what he's seeing, which is currently Dom in control. So now here's a big comeback spot that they're building up for Penta. I don't know if the match allotment, like time limit wise, would lead to a finish. But I'll be honest, I didn't think that the Chad Gable match was going to go as long as it did. I certainly didn't think that the Gunther Dragon Lee match was going to go as long as it did. So who knows? Maybe this match doesn't have as much time as you'd assume it would. Also, they're on Netflix, so who gives a fuck, right? Oof. Oh, big forearm from Dom, dude. Oh, nice. Now Dom's showing out, bro. I like it. I rock with it. Dude, they are really trying to get this fucking the wife of Bride of Frankenstein movie. They're trying to push the shit out of it. Wait, what? I thought it was on Netflix. It's in theaters? Is this I'm assuming it's not a sequel. I never even checked, but I always assumed it wasn't. Well, that doesn't make any sense though. That other Frankenstein movie was really good, by the way. Oof. Nice. Nice. Yo, Penta's so good, dude. Wraps the arm near the rope. I appreciate those little things, dude. You know what I mean? Like it's those little things that you use to tell a bigger story eventually. Like think about it in a decade when Penta's like older and he can't go the way he used to, right? Like it's going to be moments like those that you're able to use to like tell stories, right? Like I don't know. Oh, yo, there's something with that turnbuckle on the hard cam side or that you see on the hard cam side closer to commentating. Oh my god, what is going on, Dom? Good job, Corey. Okay, so this is what just happened. Penta, so Dom went down for a pin and it was a weird angle where he didn't have Dom's shoulders down. So the ref doesn't count and then shows you don't have the shoulders down. So Penta puts the shoulder down. The ref counts 2 and Penta breaks the pin before Dom kicks out. So he breaks the pin and then a moment later Dom kicks out. Corey Graves says Penta unaware or broke the pin before he was ready. And then talks about, the fact that he's in this match and you know what I mean? Like it's believable. Yikes, bro. What is going on? They are just not on the same page. This match was fucking fire in the first half. Yo, I like this catching submissions from the top turnbuckle. They're called high risk maneuvers for a reason. If you're not hitting them, then they should be fully countered. Yo, that I thought they were sending that home. Dom was like convulsing as Penta was pinning him. Yo, Penta hit the Penta driver. If that didn't put it away, I don't think he's winning. I mean, I never thought he was winning, but okay, here we go. Here we go, guys. Here we go. So Penta's kayfabe shoulder hurt. Dom ordered JD to get the hammer. He did. Finn is stopping him from handing the hammer to Dom. And Penta dives and takes them both out. Dom looks like he's about to cry. Yo, how did you get hit in the face with that? You saw it coming a mile away. Why didn't you just move from the ropes, Dom? Oh, nice. He was going for a Mexican destroyer, and Dom turns it into a 619, misses it. Penta hits the Mexican destroyer. He's got it. 1, 2, 3. Penta's the new IC champion. Holy shit. I fucking called it. Dude, did I just not book that live with y'all? Come on, guys. That deserves a follow. That deserves at least a follow, I think, or a sub. I just booked the shit out of that. Nobody was assuming Dom was losing the IC title before Mania. I mean, no, I'm not going to say nobody, but yo, that was big time, dude. That was big time. I loved it. I loved every second of it. I'm not even going to complain that they waited until after Penta's momentum crashed twice. I'm not even going to complain about that because it was really done well. And as I said, Finn Balor and Dom does not need the IC title match. Here's a worry, though. Will Trips attempt to make it a triple threat match with the IC title? Because that takes away from the Dom Finn narrative, I think, just a bit, right? It has to. Very good. Very good, WWE. Very good. So far, a really good show, by the way. We had really good wrestling in Gunther Finn Balor. I don't know why I said that like a 12-year-old with the list, but we had really good wrestling. And we have had 2 solid segments. The opener with Seth Rollins was done very well. And this title match, very, very good. This is exactly how I booked it, guys. I'm not trying to suck my own here. I'm just saying this is exactly what I said. It's good, dude. Not just because I thought of it. I mean, I didn't think of it, obviously, but because I thought it could happen. Not just because of that, because it's really good storytelling, right? Now Dom and Finn are going to be super pissed at each other, right? Here's the thing. Maybe they don't want to have the blow off angle, or not blow off angle, but the blow up angle quite yet. Like, so maybe you send them to the back, right? And we just get, or maybe we don't even hear from them tonight, right? Like, they're so pissed off that they don't even talk to each other tonight. But then next week, when we have a segment for them to address in the ring, how awesome or hilarious would it be if Dom's solo in the Judgment Day cave playing WWE 2K26 and he's just like playing or whatever, and he's like, oh my God, I'm finally gonna beat this guy on live. Like he's been beating me every time. He's like telling JD, he's like, I'm finally gonna beat him. And then he's playing him, and then Finn walks in front of him and he's like, Dom, we need to talk. I literally tried to do an Irish accent there. It didn't even sound, didn't it sound? I think it sounded exactly how I talk. But in my brain, I was literally telling myself, I think I had a mini stroke right there. But anyway, yeah. So he's like, we need to talk. And he's like, yeah, oh, what the hell? Finn. And then you see him lose. And he's like, you just cost me that match. And he's like, no, I didn't cost you anything. Like, it kind of like have this like dual conversation, right? And then we get to the segment, and then that leads to the blow up. That would be funny. I think that would be really well used, especially because the video game has been utilized throughout their throughout the factions history. And so to like utilize it in this case, right, as the factions clearly coming to an end, I think it would be cool. Okay, so what if you do? Okay, so what if they're doing this? This was the quietest Roman Reigns entrance that I've ever. I didn't even realize he was out there until I turned around and saw him out there. What if they're gonna take the belt on Friday from Drew to put on Cody because they're going the Nick Aldis route for Drew? Does that make sense to anybody? Does anybody think that could be what they do? I mean, I know that's clearly not a big as big a match. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I know it's not as big a match for Drew as it would be for it. I know it's not as big a match for Drew with Aldis as it would be if he were the world champion defending it at Mania. But the Aldis storyline has so much continuity, so much history. Dates back what, like 2 years now? At least over a year for sure. Because remember, they got into it at, was it the Clash in Paris or wherever it was that last year? Whatever it was. I think that's when it was, but that was when they like blew up at each other, right? But they've been telling that story for a while. And here's the other part. I know a lot of people want to see Adam Pearce wrestle again, and I get it. You know, the storyline is much better on that side because it, you know, it involves Paul Heyman, Logan Paul, Seth Rollins, you know, just the fucking list goes on, right? Drew McIntyre and Aldis is a solo venture, right? That said, I have a much greater desire to see Nick Aldis perform specifically against Drew McIntyre in a WWE ring than I do having ever see Adam Pearce wrestle again. And that, I'm not trying to be like a hater towards Adam Pearce. I'm just, that's how much I want to see Nick Aldis wrestle in a WWE ring against Drew McIntyre. I love Nick Aldis's out of WWE work. You know, his time as the NWA champion was solid. If you don't know this, you know, Nick Aldis was he the main event? He was one of the big matches, like one of the final 2 matches of the first All In, the show that basically launched AEW. Yeah, Nick Aldis, I think he defended his NWA title against Cody Rhodes. I know that that was the match. I don't remember if the title was on the line. I want to say it was, but I remember there being like controversy about defending the title somewhere else and like dropping the title. Like I remember there was like a lot of people that were like trying to protect NWA at that time, like saying like, you know, it's not fair for their I don't remember. I don't even want to speculate, but the hell are they making a part 2 to this movie? Project Hail Mary in IMAX. You know, I would love, honestly, I would pay to watch a space movie in IMAX a la Interstellar, right? Every single year. The way that every year we get a summer blockbuster, we should get a first quarter badass space movie because let me tell y'all, the graphics are getting so much better. Me and my wife, we rented this movie the other day. It just came out, or it's a documentary, and it's basically on it was about apologetics. If you've ever heard about apologetics, it's basically Christian scientists attempting to connect the foundational principles of physics with there being a god, which I think there's like tons of, you know, intellectually factually based reasons to believe that there is a grand designer, based on, you know, physics and you know, the fact that this earth exists the way it does, even though there's a million reasons it shouldn't exist the way it does. But that said, yeah, it's on apologetics and the graphics that they used, right? This is a Christian documentary, and the science graphics they used were fucking phenomenal. I mean, they were better than How the Universe Works, which is a Discovery show that it's on HBO Max if you're ever interested in that stuff. Like, I'm an armchair physics guy, right? An armchair physician. That's not what it is. I was just kidding. But I really enjoy it, you know. All right. I'm going to bring the stuff for the Elski. Hold on 1 second. Look in my eyes. What do you see? Yo, that guy has a Easter violet purple world championship belt. That was fire. I'm not gonna lie, I'd never buy one. Not that color. You gotta get a neutral color one. Otherwise, it won't go with your shoes. Personality. I'm the fucking cult of personality. Oh. Damn, CM Punk got a black eye. Damn. He said, I'm doing what you want, what that big ego of yours wants. I'm acknowledging Roman Reigns. Yo, fire first line, bro. Fire first line. That's writing right there. That's fucking real writing with intention. They said the writers, the creative, or maybe even Punk wrote that, said, fuck this. We're going out there swinging. Yo, what did he say? He said, did I hurt your feelings, Phil? Where the fuck is the remote? He said, did my tweet hurt your feelings, Phil? Hey. Yo, he called him sensitive, bro. That's it. This is over. Oh, shit, bro. Oh, shit. He said, thank God for these bags under my eyes because I've had to carry your bullshit for all these weeks that you've been gone. Yo, this is getting crazy. This is getting crazy. And Punk needed this, bro, because Roman had all of the momentum. It's unfair, but that's the truth. He said, we got history here in Indy. Punk said that. Yo, that black eye is playing so well for Punk right now. Yo, he said, this is where I brought you to the dance. And where is the lie? He said, correction, you brought the other two, not me. John Moxley reference. What? Or I guess Dean Ambrose. He said, "You hate me? That's because I'm in your head, as empty as it is." That's what Punk just said. Oh my God. He just called me out. He said, "We brought you back for the 30-year-old virgins." That's what Roman just said. He mentioned us, guys. Oh my God. This is so cool. Yo, if they're at Mania and they don't start chanting, "We are virgins," I'm done with Indy, bro. I'm done with them. Oh my God, yo. The line of the night. He said, "You're not CM Punk. You're just a punk bitch to me." That's what Roman said. Yo, this is nasty work from Roman Reigns. Nasty work from Roman Reigns right now. Yo, he said Samoan goblins, bro. Yo, Punk did not come to fuck around. Damn. Punk said, "You can't get shit done by yourself." Yo, he said he was going to send him on that John Cena retirement tour. Yo, this is epic, bro. This is so epic. He said he was going to bury him next to his father. Oh my god. Yo. All right. Okay, guys. I'm gonna tap out. That was the Raw recap. I mean, that was the Raw watch along. I'm gonna send in this recap. Appreciate you. Follow me on Twitch if you want to continue the conversation as we play WWE 2K25 as well as Undisputed Boxing. Actually, probably one or the other. I don't think we got time for both. But please follow me on at InfightingFX, at Infighting Exchange, spelled at InfightingFX, INFIGHTINGFX. We're live Monday through Thursday, plus for all the big fights on the weekend, boxing, MMA, and wrestling. Of course, we'll be live this weekend for the Holloway Oliveira 2 rematch for the title. Then next weekend we'll be live for Wilder Chisora boxing earlier in the day. It's going to be in the UK. And then we will be live, of course, for WrestleMania, both night 1 and night 2. But do me a favor, go to fightsatw.com, fightsaroundtheworld.com, bookmark it, make it your homepage for everything combat sports, MMA, boxing, wrestling, even combat sports betting. And yeah, go there. One of the best combat sports roster of writers, pound for pound on the planet, I think. So yeah, go there. That's where my recaps are posted weekly for Raw, SmackDown, the pay-per-views, the PLEs, WWE, AEW, everything that you need to know. We'll have this recap posted shortly. So joining us for tomorrow's show, please hit the follow, please hit the sub, please hit the like, share it if you don't mind. And we'll be back tomorrow. Appreciate everybody that tapped in. Until tomorrow, peace.